For years, about 80%, 70 to 80% of my investments were in the S&P 500. Today, that's closer to about 40 to 50%. And that's a huge difference, especially for someone who has spent years telling people to keep investing simple, with low cost index fund. So what has changed? Have I stopped believing in the S&P 500? No. Not that. But I have realized that there are risks that I wasn't paying attention to and opportunities I wasn't taking enough of. Today, I want to explain why I'm changing my investment strategy and why some members of my private community are making similar changes too. If you have been following this channel for a while, you will know I've always said that most people don't need to pick individual stocks. They don't need to be able to predict the next Nvidia or Tesla. They simply need to invest consistently in a diversified index fund and then ignore all the daily headlines and let time just do its work. I still believe that. I think that's still, one of the best pieces of investing advice for beginners. But investing isn't just about finding a good strategy. It's also about recognizing when your understanding has evolved. The first reason I have reduced my exposure to S&P 500 is what I call concentration risk. Most people assume that when they buy the S&P 500, they are spreading their money evenly across 500 of America's, largest companies. That's not actually how the index works. The S&P 500 is weighted based on market capitalization, which simply means that the bigger a company becomes, the larger its share of the index. So to keep it simple, if you order pizza that is supposed to have 500 slices, you would expect that, all the slices are roughly the same size. Instead, almost half the pizza belongs to just 10 companies. That's a much better picture of what today's S&P 500 looks like. Those companies, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, Tesla, and a few others, are phenomenal businesses. They have created enormous wealth over the last decade, and I still own some of them through my investment. So this is not about saying that they are bad companies. It's just about recognizing that my portfolio had become far more dependent on a handful of businesses than I am comfortable with. And as an accountant, one of the first principles that we're taught is diversification. You never want a business to depend on one customer, for example, or to depend on one supplier, or to depend on one source of income. If that's a good advice for running a business, why shouldn't it be a good advice for investing? That is, one of the reasons why I'm reducing my exposure. The second one is valuation. And let me be clear because I know the comment section can get really interesting. I believe in artificial intelligence. I believe it's going to change the world. I genuinely think that, we are still at the beginning of what AI will achieve. Many of the companies leading this revolution are extraordinary businesses. But believing in a technology is not the same as believing that every company associated with it deserves any price investors are willing to pay. Some of the largest companies in the S&P 500, they are trading at valuations that assume years of exceptional growth. They might deliver. They might even exceed that expectation. They might not. There is a quote that I like: you can't predict, but you can prepare. And that's what captures my thinking at this point. I'm not reducing my exposure because I know what will happen. I am reducing it because I don't know what will happen. And history has taught us, something very important. 100 years ago, the United Kingdom dominated global markets. In the late 1980s, Japan looked unstoppable. Japanese companies represented nearly half of the world stock market at some point. And many people genuinely believed that, Japan will dominate the global economy forever. But it didn't. Today, the United States is home to some of the greatest businesses ever created, and I believe it will continue, to produce incredible companies. But history also reminds us that no country, no industry, no group of companies stays on top forever. And that brings me to my third reason. The rest of the world is becoming too attractive to ignore. For over a decade now, the United States has outperformed almost every major market. And naturally, that's where investors would focus their attention. But investing is also not just about chasing yesterday's winner. It's about owning some of tomorrow's opportunities. There are world-class businesses in Europe, for example. There are innovative companies in Japan. There are growing economies across Asia. There are incredible opportunities outside the United States, in emerging markets. And many of them are trading at much more attractive valuation. Taking those opportunities is diversification. So I'm not saying that, America is finished or AI is a bubble. I am not saying that S&P 500 is a bad investment. It's not. I'm simply acknowledging that none of us knows where the next generation of global winners will come from. So what I am doing is, because I should mention, I haven't sold my investment in S&P 500. I have reduced my allocation in the pie from around 70 to 80 to about 40 to 50. And I have redirected more of my monthly investments into broader global index fund that gives me exposure to emerging market, Europe, Japan, Canada, Australia, and all the rest. The United States is still my single biggest investment because I still believe it is one of the greatest worth creating economies in history. It's just no longer almost my entire portfolio. And before anyone says why 40 to 50%, it's not some magic number. It's simply the allocation that reflects my own, financial goals, my risk tolerance, and my comfort level. Your own allocation may be entirely different, and that's perfectly okay. A few years ago, my biggest investing lesson was to stop trying to pick winning stocks, because I used to do that before. And then it was just to buy S&P 500. Today, my biggest lesson is different. Even when you found a great investment, never stop asking whether you're taking risks you didn't intend to. So we learn every single day. And this is not about having the strongest opinions. It's just about having a good process that works for me. My goal has never been to own the hottest stock or to be able to predict the market. It's just to be able to grow wealth consistently, managing my risks, in a way that gives me that financial control. So if you've been investing only in S&P 500, I'm not telling you to change your portfolio overnight, but relook your strategy. I'm simply, encouraging you to ask yourself the same question I asked myself. Am I diversified as much as I think I am? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you watch the next one where I talked about 5 halal investments to make, and I'll see you in that video.